In this video, I'm going to test these EBL batteries. These are 2800 milliamp nickel metal hydride batteries. I bought them in an 8-pack. And I'm really curious to see what their true rating is. If you go on the internet and you look at any of the rechargeable batteries and you go to the 1-star reviews on all of them, they all say the same thing. They all say that they didn't hold a charge, they don't meet, and on and on and on it goes. And it really doesn't seem to matter what battery you're looking at. So what I'm going to do is a standardized test, and I'm going to use this Lacrosse technology tester. I've had this for years. I don't think they make it anymore, but what they have in here is they have the ability to put a battery in, and you can do the different modes. So for example, this one's full. Let's take in another one. Here's an antelope. You can put it in any one of the slots. When you plug it in, it'll tell you the voltage. And there we have 1.34, which is very typical for me when it's fully charged and then it rests. So that to me says that that's a full battery. And then it'll immediately charge. But you can have other functions that you want to do. For example, you put it back in and you press the mode button and you can discharge it. You can discharge it, refresh it, and you can charge it and you can test it. So when you charge and test, it will, no matter what the battery condition is, it'll charge it all the way up, and then it will slowly drain it all the way to the bottom, and it will measure the amp hours, and then it'll recharge. Now, this particular one they don't make anymore, but if you're interested in this type of charger that can do this function, and I found a clone. It's about $19, and it'll do the exact same thing. In fact, all the buttons are exactly in the same order and everything, and it gives you a good way to determine the true amp hour capacity of your batteries. And then if you're going to put them in packs, then the way I do it is I take a little piece of paper and I put the amp hour rating and then I match them. So like I'll put 2,000 milliamp hour batteries together in a flashlight so that they just charge at the same rate. So let's take a look, and we're going to do the test and then we'll go through the results. Now when you plug it into this charger, it automatically will show you the input voltage. And I'll tilt this up so you can see this. It should be 1.3. And I found that they are all 1.3, which is great because they're fully charged. Alright, so this charger, the way I have to do this, I only have a couple of seconds. I gotta put them all in at once. And then I'm going to set up a test procedure. And then we'll go mode and we'll do charge test. Alright. And this will take a while, but this will give us a good idea of the true amp hour rating. So this will go through its cycle. It will charge them a little bit. It's not going to take very long because they're already very high, and then it'll discharge them, and then it'll measure the total amp hours stored in the batteries, and then it'll charge it back up. Alright, the test is done, and they're going to measure this in amp hours. So that's going to be 2.16, 2.14, 2.15, and 2.24. So they're all a little bit below the rated, which was going to be 2.8, because this is a 2800 milliamp hour battery. Okay, now that the first test is done, I've taken the other 4 batteries out of the pack. I charged them all the way up, and then I used them in a high-powered LED flashlight just to simulate real-world conditions, and then we'll repeat the test. May or may not show any difference, but this is how I'm going to do it. I have to get them all ready because I only have a few seconds. Okay, charge test. And we'll let that run. Here are the results from the next test. We have 2.2, 2.14, 2.23, and 2.2 amp hours. Alright, now if we take all these results, I've got all the batteries here. The rated capacity is 2.8 amp hours, which is the same as 2800 milliamp hours. And here are our actual reading in amp hours. And as you can see, if we take the percent to max, the best battery is this one right here at 81.8. And the lowest battery looks like 76.4 as a percent of the total. And then the difference here is in amp hours. So it's approximately a half an amp hour. It ranges from 0.5 to 0.64, which is 510 milliamp hours to 640 milliamp hours. So I'm not really surprised at these results, but there could be varying reasons of how they tested it in their lab or whatever, I don't know. But in real world conditions with my charger all using a similar method, these are the results I get. So what I'll do is I might repeat this test after I use them for a while, and I might buy some different batteries because a lot of my battery packs are getting older and I need to replace them, and then maybe compare different manufacturers over time. But these are the results I got for this particular battery, which is the EBL, and I hope you found that helpful.